again, everyone. I'm Paul the Nitro Skywers, and welcome to this edition of the Nitro Corner. Today is Saturday. Excuse me. Today is Saturday, and it's time for part 2 of our weekend report. And we'll begin with a Smackdown report and then the Nitro Top 10 for this week. So let's begin with the Smackdown report. Smackdown was last night, and the show began with Theodore Long getting a call from Triple H saying that he was in charge of SmackDown while Triple H is contemplating what he's going to do Monday night after the vote of no confidence this past Monday night on Raw. And Teddy Long summed it up best: Raw's loss is SmackDown's gain. Well, whether that be true or not, we'll have to know throughout the show. Next up, Vicky Guerrero comes out with the coalition of no confidence, as I like to call them, led by Christian, saying that if Triple H does not resign, then they are planning to walk out. That's right, walk out, not only of Raw, but of SmackDown. Coming up this Monday, we'll see who stays and who goes this Monday on Raw. Next up, the Sin Cara Azul, which means blue, which means the good Sin Cara, took on Alberto Del Rio, the new WWE champion, and Alberto Del Rio scored a victory over him thanks to the cross arm breaker. It seems like Del Rio's back on a roll since becoming WWE champion. And after the matchup, the evil Sin Cara comes out there and lays out the good Sin Cara. Like I said before, this is a remake of Mr. Wrestling 2 versus the imposter Mr. Wrestling 2 back in the early 80s in Georgia Championship Wrestling. Next up, Jack Swagger and Dolph Ziggler defeated Air Boom in a non-title matchup. After they were jumped earlier in the bout, it seems like Evan Bourne hurt his neck in the matchup. Before the matchup with the zigzag on the concrete floor. I think Air Boom did not get anything offensively off. Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger are dead serious. They want the tag team straps. Next up, Beth Phoenix, the Divas champion, put in a quick win over Alicia Fox thanks to the Glam Slam, and then her and Natalya put Alicia Fox in what I like to call the Haas of Pain, which is a crossing the legs and bending her backwards where her head hits the mat. Now, that move is extremely dangerous as far as I'm concerned. It can break a neck. It can break a neck. And you can hear her screaming, "Let go of the hold." That is a very dangerous hold. They need to be careful with that. I'm not advocating no violence in professional wrestling, but that move alone can break a neck as far as I'm concerned. They need to watch out for that. Next up, the return of the Big Show. The Big Show comes out there, real emotional out there. He was humbled by the fact that Mark Henry put him out and taking things for granted, like watching his dogs playing with his dogs, going up and down stairs. With a broken ankle, it becomes real humbling. Well, Big Show vows revenge as he will deliver to Mark Henry 10 times the pain and punishment that the Big Show went through. And also, he wants the one thing that Mark Henry has. That's the World Heavyweight title. Well, that brings out Mark Henry after being called out by the Big Show. Excuse me. Mark Henry says, "Y'all let you know on Mark Henry's time, on the world champ's time," and leaves. Big Show says he better have his answer, and that answer is yes at the end of the night, or he's going to put him through a table and break his ankle. Man, that's intense as far as I'm concerned. Next up, in a kind of a squash match lately, Ezekiel Jackson defeats Jinder Mahal. Ezekiel trying to get back on his winning ways over the past couple weeks, ever since losing the Intercontinental title to Cody Rhodes. And then in the main event, Randy Orton and Sheamus defeated Christian and Cody Rhodes. By the way, I like the Intercontinental title, the look of the Intercontinental title, old school, classic style. At least Cody Rhodes got that right. Unfortunately, he was on the losing end of that tag team loss. And then Mark Henry comes out to ringside at the end. It says, No to the Big Show's challenge. Big mistake as the Big Show took him out with a vicious spear. Then went on the outside. As the fight ensued, Mark Henry had gained control by whipping the Big Show into the guardrail. He clears the table. Gonna try to put the Big Show through it? Couple nice elbows in the head. Grabbed him right by the throat and choke slammed him through the table. And then he grabbed the chair and was about ready to break his ankle. I mean, he's gonna break that ankle. And then Teddy Long comes out there and says, "No, don't do it, Big Show. You got your title match. You got your title match." After much consideration, the Big Show released the chair from the ankle, but waylaid him out with the chair right across the back. I mean, he took him out, son. Mark Henry lying flat on his back. I was like, dang, that's impressive. And you can bet that the Big Show versus Mark Henry is going to be a titanic struggle, literally, for the world's heavyweight title. And that was Smackdown from last night. Overall, this was a very good show with the Big Show taking care of the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, laying him out on the campus. And of course, the threat of the walkout this Monday on Raw should be interesting. Now, before we get to let's get into the Nitro Top 10 first, and I'll talk about the interactive poll I talked about last night. So let's get started with the Nitro Top 10 for this week. A pretty interesting top 10 for this week. A lot of new entries, so let's begin. Number 10 is Santino Marella, coming back from that car accident. He defeated Jinder Mahal this past Monday night on Raw. Congratulations to Santino. He is number 10. Number 9 is Air Boom. They part of that big victory in the 10-man tag, but unfortunately for them, they were beaten by Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger this past Friday night on SmackDown. We'll see how Air Boom responds to that. Number 8 is Randy Orton. A bad week for Randy Orton. He lost his return match to Mark Henry in the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, but he bounced right back by defeating Drew McIntyre and winning that tag team main event. Looks like Orton is going to have to work his way once again to get another title shot against Mark Henry. Number 7 is the reigning DCW Women's Champion, Madison Rayne. Madison scored the win in the tag team match over Velvet Sky and Mickie James. Madison had winner as her tag team partner. Number 6 this week, remaining his spot in number 6, is the Icon Sting. Another great promo. He finally got what he wanted. Hulk Hogan one-on-one. And remember the stipulation that he also got. If Sting can beat Hulk Hogan, TNA will be returned to Dixie Carter. Number 5 this week is Crimson. Crimson made his return to TNA Impact this past Thursday and got a measure of revenge by beating Samoa Joe to remain undefeated. Number 4 this week is the brand new Divas Champion, Beth Phoenix. She defeated Kelly Kelly in a highly spirited match in Hell in a Cell and then survived the wrath of Kelly Kelly laying the smackdown on her this past Monday night on Raw. She bounced back with a quick win over Alicia Fox this past Friday on SmackDown. Retaining his spot at number 3 this week is Cody Rhodes. Cody unveiled the new-looking Intercontinental title, old school style. Finally, he got something right. And then he defeated, let's see, who did he beat this past Monday night on Raw? He was involved in that 10-man tag. He lost it this past week, and then he lost the tag team match. But he defeated John Morrison at Hell in a Cell to keep his Intercontinental title. Number 2 this week, returning to the Nitro Top 10, is the Big Show. The Big Show laid out the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, the World Heavyweight Champion, this past week. And now we have a brand new number 1 wrestler in the Nitro Top 10, and it is the brand new WWE Champion, Alberto Del Rio. Del Rio, of course, won the WWE title in that triple threat Hell in a Cell match, beating John Cena and CM Punk. And even though he lost the 10-man tag team this past week, he defeated Sin Cara Azul, the good Sin Cara, this past Friday on Smackdown in a non-title matchup. Congratulations to Alberto Del Rio, our brand new #1 wrestler in the Nitro Top 10. Now, before we go, let me tell you once again about our interactive question for you to answer. If you were voting on Triple H's vote of confidence, is it a yes or a no? You decide. Go to my channel at Rest101 channel or YouTube.com, keyword Nitro Corner. Click on the Rest101 channel and post your comments or videos. What do you think? Should Triple H get a vote of confidence or a no vote of confidence? It's up to you. Well, that's it for this edition of the Nitro Corner's Weekend Report, and that is it for this edition of the Nitro Corner. I will be back tomorrow for the classic match of the week. Until then, I'm Paul the Nitro Skyver saying, so long everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.